Miami quarterback Cameron Ward has put himself on the map in 2024. In his final collegiate season, but his first with the Miami Hurricanes, Ward has put up over 1,000 passing yards, 11 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception, along with 46 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Another intriguing statistic is that Ward has only taken 2 sacks in his first 3 games of the season. But there's one game that sold me on Cam Ward as a prospect, and it's not from the 2024 season. We have to go back to October 21st, 2023, where Cam Ward and Wazoo lost to Oregon by 14. What? Okay, that might sound crazy, but trust me here. This game from Ward was fantastic, and today, it's my job to show you why. If you're new, subscribe to the channel as I will be releasing draft content all year long. But for now, I'm Chase Keller, and welcome to the game that sold me on Cameron Ward. Enjoy. I have a lot to go over in this one, so let's dive right into the Oregon game. 3rd and 7 on the first drive of the game, Ward gets the snap out of shotgun. The obvious goal here is to get the first, so he disregards any open receivers before the first down line. With nobody open and pressure ensuing, he bails out of the pocket and finds his playmaking receiver open for 8 yards and a first down. Nice job playing off script and making an accurate throw on the run. After a punt ended the first drive, this was the second play of the next drive. Bunch trips to the left, and as soon as he gets the snap, you can tell his read is over in that direction. I honestly didn't really like the play design here with 2 of the receivers going vertical right next to each other. But his target gets a good break and a step on the DB. He breaks slightly outside, allowing for him to get separation from the DB, and Ward delivers a very solid deep pass to that receiver. Could have been in stride, but the possession throw is not bad either. Here's the play immediately after the deep shot. Stack formation for the receivers, and another play call I'm not a fan of since all 4 receivers go vertical. And as a result, none of the receivers get open. With the pocket collapsing, Ward makes a fast decision to maneuver through pressure and take off for an eventual 10-yard gain. Nice job here getting out of the pocket and getting downfield for another first down. That drive ended in a field goal, and we skip another drive to get into the second quarter. 2nd and 4 at Wazoo's own 9-yard line, and this play call was one that I actually really liked. Ward takes the snap out of shotgun and fakes the wide receiver screen on the outside. Instead, he delivers down the middle accurately to the same guy who caught that deep ball shown earlier. 20-yard gain on the play. Good read, but even better play call by Wazoo on this one in my opinion. And then the play immediately after that, Ward goes back to the deep game, but this one is probably the most impressive play so far. This play call was intended to hit someone down the middle, but almost immediately after taking the snap, Ward faces pressure from the defensive tackle and has to escape the pocket. He explodes out, but keeps his eyes downfield and makes a beautiful off-script pass to his receiver. Not only was the escape very impressive, but the ability to make that great of a throw on the run is something that fans are falling in love with during this 2024 season at Miami. But yeah, he's shown it before. 6 straight positive plays here. 3rd and 6 at Oregon's 20-yard line, and this was a designed play which becomes obvious as the play unfolds. But the design isn't what to pay attention here. Ward gets immediate pressure right in his face, right in the way of the designed passing lane. But despite the pressure, he adjusts that throwing angle to perfectly make the throw. This ended up going to the 4-yard line, and on the play after this, Nakia Watson punched it in for 6. But then on the first play of the next drive, we get to the first negative play of this video. Ward takes another shotgun snap in a spread formation, and once again, none of his receivers get open. This allowed for him to escape the pocket and take off, which he had the opportunity to do, but he just fell over. 2024 4th round pick Brandon Dorlus got the credit for a sack here. 2nd and 15 on the play right after the sack, and Oregon sends a linebacker blitz towards Ward, in which the line actually holds strong and gives Ward plenty of time to throw. As his routes unfold, he finds his slot receiver, which I'll just say is Lincoln Victor, as he delivers an on-target, in-stride throw to him for 19 yards and the first down. I mentioned Victor's name because you are going to see him a lot in this video. He had 16 catches for 161 yards in this contest, which is just ridiculous. A couple plays later, Ward takes this snap on 2nd and 10, still in their own territory, but not for long. He fakes left before running out to the right to find 2 receivers running with him and another going vertical. I have a feeling this was an easy to read play, and his first one, Victor again, happens to get separation on his out route. Ward makes an accurate toss on the run once again, which is a huge strength in this game if you can't tell. On this 2nd and 10 play in enemy territory, Ward takes a snap with an empty backfield and 1 read, once again to Victor. With a cushion on Victor, Ward decides to fire towards him on this in route, and simply enough, while Victor was open, Ward just tossed it behind him on a crucial 2nd and 10 out of field goal range. Just a rough throw in game with not a lot of rough throws in this contest. So then that turns into a crucial 3rd and 10 on the next play. And while Ward fails to pick up the first down, he at least gets some yardage through an impressive play. He finds a gap in the line and perfectly times his escape as a defender was just about to get him. Instead of panicking, he throws across his body to find, guess who? Lincoln Victor for a 7-yard gain. Another great thing about Ward is that he plays very fast and in the moment and consistently does a great job finding receivers in awkward situations. Unfortunately, Ward threw an incomplete pass on the next play to turn the ball over on downs, but he makes up for it on the first play of the next drive. After Oregon took a 17-10 lead, Ward came out steaming and just attacked deep right away. His receiver didn't even have a full step on the DB when Ward released this pass. He had at most a half step. But perfect ball placement by Ward allows for this ball to be caught. Huge momentum to start this one. This was a pretty basic positive play here, but Ward takes the snap and sees nobody open. What I will say is that I think he will try to escape the pocket unnecessarily at times, but when he's good at evading the pocket and making off-script plays, I don't blame him. This time around, he just takes off running up the middle and gets a few yards out of it. The very next play, it's 1st and 10 at Oregon's 22-yard line. Spread hurry up offense here, and Ward decides to make 1 read, that one being the deep one. The deep ball wasn't necessarily here, and just straight up, he either blew this throw or him and his receiver had a timing miscommunication. Nonetheless, an incomplete pass with 21 seconds left in the half is not ideal. And then the play right after that one. Obviously a 2nd and 10, more bunched up this time, and Ward once again has to escape. I'm not bashing the line here, but Ward has to use his legs once again to leave the pocket, and this happens a lot in this game. But when he leaves the pocket out left or right, you almost never see him take off right away unless the lane is wide open. He mostly extends the play, and he does that here, keeping his eyes downfield and eventually finding Victor for a 6-yard completion. Onto the second half of play here, as we have Wazoo's first play from offense in this half. 1st and 10 at their own 6-yard line, and Ward ends up facing a DB blitz that ends up narrowing the pocket faster than it should have. Ward steps up in the pocket and tries to make the play, but this is where keeping his eyes downfield ends up costing him. He slowed up a little bit, which allowed the DB to jump off the block and make the sack. Spoiler alert, this is the rare 2 negative plays in a row. he's once again rushed out of the pocket, or at least forced to back up and move around, and then eventually he steps up near the line of scrimmage ready to make a play. Instead of taking off like he probably should have, he forces a pass to a receiver and the ball gets deflected. The DB thought he could have picked it off, but I think a deflection was the best he was going to get. 1st and 10 at Wazoo's 38-yard line, and Ward finds trips left and looks that way like he has with all of his trips reads leading up to this point. But once again, he can't find a receiver and he's forced to leave the pocket. Rolling out right, he keeps his eyes downfield as he normally does, and Victor actually uses his teammate as a screen to get open. Ward notices this and makes another very solid throw on the run. Trips bunch left on this 3rd and 10 play at Oregon's 31-yard line. Clearly the offensive line was not ready for this, specifically the left side, as they jump late, which results in quick pressure to Ward. So he leaves the pocket and keeps his eyes downfield, but just like a couple of plays ago, he focuses too much on the pass and allows the pressure to get to him, almost identical to the one sack we saw earlier at the goal line. After Wazoo hit a 50-yard field goal, the team allowed another touchdown which put even more pressure on Ward, but as you can already tell by this film study, he thrives under pressure, even if it's a different kind of pressure. That's once again on show here for this first down pass, as he has to use his in-the-pocket mobility and footwork to move around and stay on his feet. This play may have resulted in only a check down, but you can't get enough of his footwork. On this play, Ward faces a 2nd and 8 at his own 38-yard line, and Oregon does what Oregon does most, and they just send their 4-man rush. Ward actually had a lot of time to throw, but with only 2 routes being run, he had nobody open and the pocket collapsed yet again. But he evades 2 tackles and takes off running for a 6-yard gain, which if you ask me, this play is one of the more impressive short chunk plays we've seen so far. After 2 straight runs, Ward is back up to pass on a 1st and 15 following a false start. This is the 7th play of the drive and Wazoo still had yet to get into enemy territory, so Ward decides to take a shot to get there. He senses backside pressure and steps up, finds a hole in the line to jump through, and then he just takes off towards the goal line. Eventually he gets there on an 18-yard run and dives forward for the first down. We skip into the 4th quarter here, where now down by 15, Ward has to step up and make a play. That did not happen on this 2nd and 10 play, where Ward fails to recognize an open crossing route and has to evade incoming pressure from the defensive end. He does break away from a sack to extend the play, but he can't find anyone to confidently throw to, so he just tosses it out of bounds. The play calling unfortunately ended that drive, as after a 3rd and 10 run, Wazoo still went for it on 4th and 7 and couldn't convert. Oregon scores again, putting this game out of reach for Wazoo. Nonetheless, Ward still has a game to finish, but he continued this negative trend on this play, as instead of throwing a timing route efficiently, he tries to escape the pocket and extend the play. He disregards the pressure behind him and gets caught up yet again. After a penalty, Wazoo's push towards the end zone got even harder. 3rd and 18 here, and Ward has to take a shot. It seemed like he originally had one read here, but he had different plans after stepping up in the pocket. He kind of delivers a hospital ball, but he delivers it perfectly to just deliver the pass in the right spot. He probably could have zipped it a little more, but he completed an accurate deep pass, and that's what matters right now. The very next play gives him a 1st and 10 at the Oregon 46-yard line. He did something very similar to this earlier in the video, where he has to evade the pocket and goes across his body to deliver a pass. This was a smarter one though, as the running back who caught the ball had a bunch of room to run. Officially, this gain was marked as a 29-yard one. And then the very next play after that one is obviously another 1st and 10, this one being at Oregon's 17. This one is not as positive as the last two, as this is one of the super rare errors that Ward has with his pocket presence, as he just fails to recognize the blitz getting around his blocker. This allowed for Oregon to get to Ward for the 6th and final time of this game. 2nd and 18 after the sack, and the only thing to really show here is how Ward made a good read to deliver a pass with the opportunity for Yak. While this play did not pick up a 1st down, it still picked up a crucial 12 yards that ended up being wasted, as for the 3rd time in this game, the team turned the ball over on downs. But let's jump to the final 2 big plays that didn't really matter, but are still worth looking at. Most of the positive plays I've covered in this video have involved Ward making a play out of the pocket. But on this one, he doesn't face any pressure, is able to stand tall in the pocket, make his read, and deliver this ball for a very solid gain of 27 yards. And this video would not be complete without having the last play discussed be the last offensive play for Wazoo in this matchup. 1st and 10 after the big gain on the last play, and once again, Ward faces pressure and has to extend the play out of the pocket. He does just that, takes a look downfield, and delivers a dime to the back of the end zone while on the run. If you look at it, this is pretty much a 30-yard accurate throw on the run, which is phenomenal. So after watching this game, here is a quick recap of what Ward did well in this game and did not do well in this game. In this game, I pulled out 22 positive plays and 8 negative plays. Every other play that happened in this game, I noted as neutral and those were not shown. Positively, Ward showed out in both improvising abilities and making throws on the run. His ability to shine under pressure was just elite in this matchup. And while Wazoo still lost this one by a good margin, Ward was not one of the reasons they lost. In fact, he was the main reason this team had a chance in the first place. But he does need to convert on crucial downs. I mean, they turned the ball over on downs 3 times. And while some of the play calls and decisions by the staff put him in awkward situations, he still had several opportunities to capitalize and just didn't. But all in all, this Oregon game was a very strong game from Ward. And after going over a couple of other games, I believe that as we speak, Ward is QB1 in the 2025 NFL Draft. Well, that is the game that sold me on Miami quarterback Cameron Ward. What do you think of this 2025 NFL Draft prospect? Let me know in the comment section below. Wait, are you not subscribed yet? Well, do it now. I release content like this all the time and would really appreciate your support. I'm Chase Keller from Chase Keller Journalism, and I will see you all next time.